It's been a dream of mine for 3 years to expose 4-inch by 5-inch film to reflected light in the canyons of Utah. On this trip, I made that dream a reality. Capitol Reef isn't the most popular place for photography. Its sandstone walls offer unique glows and rock formations that make it great for large format. Looking back, I barely scratched the surface of possibilities, and I already want to return to chase after some of those elusive shots and subjects that the park has to offer. My filmmaking on this trip was not exactly up to standard. I knew this going in. For my first trip to the Southwest, I wanted to be purely focused on photography. This was definitely not the defining trip for this year. That trip is soon to come. Zion is not even 3 weeks away now, and I'm glad that I did this much smaller photography trip to prepare for Zion and get some decent shots under my belt. I got some pretty decent photos on this trip, but decent isn't what I'm after. I have a feeling it's going to take a couple return trips to really capture a stunning photo and fulfill my vision for photography here. This was a trip where I gained more in knowledge than in photography. So after 17 hours on the road yesterday and 3 more today, I'm here in the park and the weather's great. It looks like it's going to get down to highs of 50s, which is really weird in the middle of the week, and that's really going to allow me to hike up high and deep into some of these canyons where I can photograph some good subjects. There's a couple I have in mind, but I just think it's too hot right now for me to really explore them. Now, I actually already took a photo today at this one canyon that I'm going to go back to later tonight once it cools down and the lighting gets better. And it was this really beautiful subject that just kind of was right there as I entered the canyon. It was super obvious, and I feel like I had to go photograph it. Had some amazing reflected light, and I didn't have any time to film. By the time I was thinking about filming, the sunlight was about to reach my tripod. So this was, some fast-moving light, and I just took that photo. But honestly, I think it's a great photo, and I guess you'll see. I hope it turns out. I'm a little worried just about some little things with the exposure. I think I may have messed up 1 or 2 of the exposures, but yeah, I think it's going to be a great shot if it turns out. I don't even think I need to really explain this one. There's no reflected light because there's these really hazy built-in clouds, and I don't know when it's going to disappear. So I got this composition. It looks really nice, but maybe I'll expose some film on it. I don't know. Maybe I'll go for more of a bluish burnt sandstone kind of look. So I actually did end up taking a lot of photos. I took 2 of Ektar and I believe 4 of Velvia, or 3, no, it was 3 of Velvia. Just because I really liked that scene, and I kind of realized that it might actually look better without the warm reflected light. One of the things that drew me to that shot was the kind of purplish look of the sandstone. There's this burnt sandstone varnish, and it reflects the sky really nicely, so I think Velvia is going to make that scene really purpley and nice and have sort of a cooler feel to it. It's supposed to get pretty cool this week. I think tomorrow it's going to get down to it's going to be highs of 55 degrees. Day after that's going to be like 53, and then after that it's going to be like 70. So the whole week is going to be really cool and nice for hiking down these long canyons that I want to explore. So since I've gotten here, I've just been taking parking lot photos, and that one was the first one where I could really take my time and set it up. And I didn't get that glow, but I think I'm actually gonna like the look of the photo more without it. So now I'm using the cool morning weather to hike down this canyon, which is called Grand Wash, and look for subjects. Besides the narrows, I've never really been in a really tall canyon like this. It's a little bit scary. It's really nice and cool, but I feel like something could drop on my head. That back there is tomorrow morning's photo. So I know the time for it, and man, that is exciting. God, that rock is so beautiful. I could either, hey camera, I could either do it looking down this way or from the other way. The other way has some bushes and it has a little bit of a leading line that draws you in, but this way just looks so beautiful and geometric. And I honestly bet that I could do a leading line. The thing about the other way is that it has these really beautiful bushes that glow. Here, let's see, flip around. These bushes, they look really beautiful. So I found another subject, and I've just exposed the rest of my Ektar 100. Oh man, it's amazing what a little bit of sand can do if it gets in your film holders. It really screws it up. So, this is just off the road. I'm shooting this little varnish area back here. And because of the sunlight being diffused, it's not a super strong glow. But I think I like it better. It's more of a calmer, diffused, kind of orangish glow that just kind of seeps out from behind the trees that are up there on that little ridge, and kind of outlines them. Those trees are also really nice because they're really glowing right now. This is a quick shot. Now that I'm looking around, it looks like I maybe could have gotten a better one, but I just wanted to get everything in the shot. And I think I did decent at that. I could definitely come back here and reshoot this, because there's some pines over here. But I really wanted to get it at an angle where I had these bushes that I was talking about earlier that just kind of glow when they're hit with reflected light. So that's going to look really cool on Ektar. It's going to have these really soft, nice colors. And now I got to take my stuff down and get some food because I haven't eaten. And I believe I've been up for 5 or 6 hours.
How you doing? Someone asked. Just go on living.
If you can't tell, I'm a little exhausted. I don't think I filmed any of the smokiness in the park, but because of wildfires, the whole day has just been a huge white fog and haze over the park, kind of stopping my photography. And I'm here at sunset, and or I was over at this place called Chimney Rock at sunset, and I was gonna try to get a cool photo of the lighting as the smoke was clearing with the sunset, and it just didn't turn out well. And I had to run between my car a couple times because I forgot the base plate. So I am like super exhausted and super tired, and sometimes it's just best to pack up and go back. Happy to be back in my Jeep. The photo I had going was just of Cathedral Rock, and it was kind of, I was setting up my composition and realizing that it was pretty flat, and it just wasn't a good looking scene, so I didn't photograph that. So I'm really hoping that the smoke clears out. It looks like it is behind me towards the park, and Ben Horn told me that all it really takes is a change in the winds to clear up the smoke, so that was good to hear because I don't really know anything about wildfires. I don't know, is the smoke gonna stay here for a week, but it seems like it's gonna be fine. And on top of that, it's gonna be 55 degrees, 52 degrees tomorrow and the day after that, so I'm gonna have plenty of time to scout around in these really long canyons that I like. There's a canyon right above Cathedral Rock where I just tried to make a photo. So you hike up this kind of plateau thing, and then there's a giant canyon there, and it's really deep and really long. So I'm gonna go check that out. Maybe tomorrow if it's cloudy. If tomorrow isn't cloudy, I've got a shot in mind, which I already showed you guys earlier. So I guess this will be the end of the the video. And hope you guys enjoy these photos. I don't even know if they turned out yet. Well, that photo outside the parking lot didn't turn out so great. The lack of reflected light, combined with the white diffused overhead lighting, gave the scene a very lifeless and muddy look. The other two shots, however, turned out pretty alright. The photo of the tree isolated up against the cliff has a beautiful glow, but lacks some focus at the top and bottom. So yes, I think I've finally learned my lesson about not using the front standard of my camera. These are good things to learn for my upcoming trip to Zion beforehand. The photo of the different trees up against the giant arching wall, also shot in diffuse lighting, turned out quite nicely. The diffuse lighting gave off an interesting look to the glow, and created a different sort of atmosphere. These were definitely not my best from the trip, but they were a decent start.